Lord of heaven and of earth. Before thee do I confess my sins and lament them, cast down and humbled in thy presence. For I have sinned before thee by pride, avarice, and boundless desire of honors and riches, by idleness, gluttony, greed, debauchery, and drunkenness. Because I have offended thee by all kinds of sins of the flesh, adulteries, and pollutions, which I have committed myself, and consented that others should commit, by sacrilege, thefts, rapine, violation, and homicide, by the evil use I have made of my possessions, by my prodigality, by the sins which I have committed against hope and charity, by my evil advice, flatteries, bribes, and the ill distribution which I have made of the goods of which I have been possessed, by repulsing and maltreating the poor, in the distribution which I have made of the goods committed to my charge, by afflicting those over whom I have been set in authority, by not visiting the prisoners, by depriving the dead of burial, by not receiving the poor, by neither feeding the hungry nor giving drink to the thirsty, by never keeping the Sabbath and the other feasts, by not living chastely and piously on those days, by the easy consent which I have given to those who incited me to evil deeds, by injuring instead of aiding those who demanded help from me, by refusing to give ear unto the cry of the poor, by not respecting the aged, by not keeping my word, by disobedience to my parents, by ingratitude towards those from whom I have received kindness, by indulgence in sensual pleasures, by irreverent behavior in the temple of God, by unseemly gestures thereat, by entering therein without reverence, by vain and unprofitable discourse when there, by despising the sacred vessels of the temple, by turning the holy ceremonies into ridicule, by touching and eating the sacred bread with impure lips and with profane hands, and by the neglect of my prayers and adorations. I detest also the crimes which I have committed by evil thoughts, vain and impure meditations, false suspicions, and rash judgments, by the evil consent which I have readily given unto the advice of the wicked, by lust of impure and sensual pleasures, by my idle words, my lies, and my deceit, by my false vows in various ways, and by my continual slander and calumny. I detest also the crimes which I have committed within, the treachery and discord which I have incited, my curiosity, greed, false speaking, violence, malediction, murmurs, blasphemies, vain words, insults, dissimulations, my sins against God by the transgression of the 10 Commandments, by neglect of my duties and obligations, and by want of love towards God and towards my neighbor. Furthermore, I hate the sins which I have committed in all my senses, by sight, by hearing, by taste, by smell, and by touch, in every way that human weakness can offend the Creator, by my carnal thoughts, deeds, and meditations, in which I humbly confess that I have sinned, and recognize myself as being in the sight of God the most criminal of all men. I accuse myself before thee, O God, and I adore thee with all humility. O ye, holy angels, and ye, children of God, in your presence I publish my sins, so that mine enemy may have no advantage over me, and may not be able to reproach me at the last day, that he may not be able to say that I have concealed my sins, and that I be not then accused in the presence of the Lord. But on the contrary, that on my account there may be joy in heaven, as over the just who have confessed their sins in thy presence. O most mighty and all-powerful Father, grant through thine unbounded mercy that I may both see and know all the spirits which I invoke, so that by their means I may see my will and desire accomplished by thy sovereign grandeur and by thine ineffable and eternal glory, thou who art and who wilt be forever, the pure and ineffable Father of all.